The Jeff Gabriel Connection.
Hey, what's up? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I was pumped. We talked a couple of weeks ago and you said you'd join me for this interview tonight, so I'm really psyched that you're here and thanks for being here. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be on this and talking. We have so much to talk about tonight.
No, I know. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. The way that I know you through a friend of mine is that you have been on a reality TV show. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. I was on season 1 and 2 of Double Shot at Love on MTV.
Right.
As of right now, we are not filming, or
Mhm.
we don't really know if we're filming at all again. But I mean, whatever comes my way, any new opportunities, of course, I'll take that on. But I did do season 1 and 2 of Double Shot at Love.
Right. And how long ago was that?
So originally when I first started out, this kind of goes into like how I started everything. When I originally first was casted, that was in 2019, and they were casting for like a party show. They wanted like a spinoff of Jersey Shore. I'm sure you've seen Jersey Shore. So they were trying to go that route. They were casting all over the tri-state area, and it flopped. The network was like, no, we're not doing it. So never heard anything back, never got another phone call. I was like, all right, maybe it's not meant, whatever. A year goes by
Right
and
on.
I start getting calls by all the producers. And I'm like, holy cow, like how is it happening?
How did you even get the original casting call for the show?
So originally I just went on to MTV.com, and they like have a bunch of casting calls of like different shows and different things you can do. And I literally just applied online, and you have to like fill out maybe like 20 questions about yourself. They ask you questions, and then it says if they're interested, they'll give you a call. And then literally the next day I got a call, and then they started doing like casting Zoom calls with me, and then they eventually flew me out to LA. And then I did a final casting interview there with the producers and everybody. They had me on a green screen to see how I'd be on camera. And then when I flew home, they're like, all right, we'll call you to let you know what's going on. And I was like, all right, cool. Never got that call. Found out it never got picked up. And then that's when a year later I started to get calls again. And I was like, why are they calling me? Like, what do they want? Type of thing.
Right.
And they were like, hey, like we have a show and we think you'd be a good fit for it, but it's a dating show. And at the time I was single, but I was like, I don't really want to go. Like, I've never watched The Bachelor, and I know like everybody watches, all girls watch The Bachelor, but I don't watch The Bachelor. But it was like that format, and I was like, I don't know if I want to do that. Like, I don't want to go on TV and like try to like fight for a guy's attention and love against other girls. Like, that's not me.
Right.
But then I thought about it more, and I was like, this is a 1 in a million chance, an opportunity. And I know I'd kick myself in the butt if I didn't do it, you know?
Right.
And I always am the type of person where I always like to step out of my comfort zone and like put myself out there and try new things. And what can go like wrong, you know? Like, so I
A
said,
lot.
it.
A lot
lot.
can go.
But
Yeah. All
it
your
was all
friends,
good. It was all good.
your parents are watching, your future boyfriend's watching, I mean, I'm a little, when I'm on, camera or doing an
Yeah.
interview, I'm a little like, how do I look? How do people perceive me?
Right.
To be on a reality TV show where everybody's watching me in this integrated sort of weird reality behavior, which is not all completely natural.
Yeah.
I know you can't talk about the show, but
Yeah.
some of it's kind of scripted, and obviously some of the situations are set up. You don't have to say yes or no, but I can imagine. So that must have been a little bit weird the first time you saw yourself on TV, right?
Oh yeah, I cringed. I literally cringed. I was like, why? Like, just the way I looked. I was like, one, who allowed me to wear that makeup, that outfit, and look like that? And two, I was just like, I don't like to hear my voice like
Nobody
play
does.
back on videos. You know, when like you just play like Snapchats and you're like, oh my God, why do I sound like that? That's how I feel.
All right. So is reality TV, I mean, I'm not sure if you know it, is it still, it's big on MTV because I don't watch MTV all the time. It's still really, they have a lot of different shows. You remember we talked a little bit about, there was a show like, I don't know, 10, 20 years ago. It was like Real World, where people would live in a house together.
Yes.
That was the first reality TV show that really set it off. And then I think it sort of just streamlined for a while in popularity, and then the Jersey Shore kicked in, right? And that was like the situation.
That like took over.
It's Snooki, right? Was that her name?
Yeah, Snooki, JWoww, Mike, Paulie, Vinny, Ronnie, and then Sammy. I think that's all of them.
Are any of those guys flowing through the MTV shows now? Or are any of those guys still on?
Oh, they're all still on. Well, Jersey Shore is still on TV. It's now called Jersey Shore Family Vacation. So now all like their families are part of it, their kids. It's actually really nice to watch and cool to see them, like how far they've come, like because they've been on TV for so long. And then Paulie, I think Vinny had a prank show. They have like a bunch of different things that they all do and are a part of.
Infinite Jersey Shore. How popular did your show get, and did you think your name or that show was a household type of show or name at one point?
Yeah, I think it definitely is out there. And even now, like a year later, I haven't been on TV in a year, and people are still noticing me and coming up to me when I'm out all over. So it's pretty cool because by now I'd be like, oh, like we're nobodies now. Like nobody's going to remember that, you know? That's so long ago. But because it aired when COVID hit us too. So like everybody was in there
home
watching it. And like, it was kind of like fun because I was like, I would be drinking, watching myself on TV because there's nothing else to do in quarantine. So.
Right. Well, that's a good thing to do. Getting drunk while you're watching yourself on TV. That was an awesome way to.
I had to, especially when I was watching season 2 with my parents. So I had to.
Yeah. What did your parents think about this endeavor?
Originally they were like iffy about it, but my parents always support me on anything I do. You know, they're always going to have my back and fully support me 100%. But season 1 was okay. It was cool because like it wasn't crazy. It was a dating show, so it wasn't bad. It wasn't that bad. Season 2 was a party show, and we lived in Vegas for a month in a penthouse, and our jobs were to work at a nightclub doing bottle service. And when we weren't doing that, we were just partying. So that was a little bit more crazy, you could say. So watching season 2 was extra with my parents.
Well, I would think, hanging out in Vegas, working in a bar, shooting a TV show.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound too bad. A little decadent. I'm sure you had like a good time, and you met a lot of, cool people.
Oh my God. So many.
Oh yeah. What was the who did you meet? Anybody worth mentioning? Any or just people that were cool, interesting people?
Well, I got to meet, just growing up, that was cool, like because I watched the Jersey Shore. I got to meet a majority of them. The only ones I didn't meet yet are Dina, Jenny, and Ronnie. But who else have I met? I've met a lot of the housewives, New Jersey housewives. I'm actually doing an charity event with them August 12th in Coney Island. So I'll be with all of them.
All right, make sure you send me an invite, all right?
Sorry, I'm taking my mom.
I want to meet all the Jersey moms.
Next time.
All right, so I want to ask you a couple. Let's get real with a couple of questions I wanted to talk to you about. So, did you always want to be on a reality TV show after seeing these shows on TV? That's the first question. Or was it just a fluke? You're on the website, you see it, you click the link, you start answering questions, it happens.
Right.
Which was it?
So it was a fluke, definitely. I was just like, let's just try something new, I popped into my head and I was like, let me try this out and see how it goes. And never thought I'd get a call, but here I am today.
Well, I saw you, I watched one of the episodes. I watched a couple of, not full episodes. I watched some links and watching. I think they chose you because you're good off the cuff. You're relaxed. You're not nervous at all, and you had a good flow with the people, and you really weren't like catering to them. You were sort of like doing what you wanted and questioning them in certain ways and getting what you wanted out of them, or beating them up a little bit is what it in a friendly way. So you were kind of like a cool reality show traffic cop.
Thank you. Traffic cop. That's a good one.
Yeah, it was the kind of the vibe, like listen, this is the way it's going. It's not going to go that way. Paulie, come over here. You're talking to her too much. I want you to talk.
Yeah.
Here. Was that the flow of your character, do you think?
Definitely. I'm like that in life. I'm
Right.
always like what I see and I want, I'm gonna get in a way, and it's good and bad. But I just always, I don't know. I just have like a very big personality. I'm very like what you see is what you get type of thing. I don't hold back. I'm just like blunt, you know?
Right. Right. Well, that's what I got when I watched the show.
So that's
So,
definitely what you guys saw.
all right. So you get on the show and you get a little taste of reality TV. You get a little taste of reality TV celebrity. You get 180,000 followers on Instagram. There's obviously probably over 1 million people watching the TV show. I don't know the exact demographics.
Yeah, there's millions. It's all over the country.
Okay. All right. So you get a dose, but what I'm saying is you get a dose of like the American dream in a sense quickly. You don't have to work, your personality and your character and your persona got you on the show, but the show enables people to get catapulted quickly into some sort of stardom or this sort of new age stardom. And so you get a little dose of, some synthetic celebrity. And how does it make you feel? Does it make you feel like you thought it would make you feel, or did you feel differently about it?
So going into this, I knew that it was either going to be something that was a hit and major, or it was going to flop and be nothing. And it hit. And honestly, the show was major. I can't compare it to Jersey Shore as major as that, but it was up there. And I didn't expect all of the publicity. I knew I was going to get a lot, but once it's actually happening and it's in your face and it's like your whole life literally overnight does a 360, and now like wherever you go, like you have to be aware of who you're hanging out with, what you're doing, what you look like, because there's phones everywhere and people are always with their phones out on cameras waiting to do something. You're always under the spotlight. It definitely is a lot, and mentally I could say like it does take a toll on you here and there, especially like it got better, but like when the show was aired and everything, there was a lot of hate. And this world we live in is so fake, and everybody portrays this lifestyle that a majority of them aren't living. And everybody has something to say, always something to say. And getting death threats for no reason, telling me to kill myself. Like if I wasn't as confident as I am in my own body and like truly love myself and know who I am as a person. And I was like somebody that's maybe insecure and not as confident, and like people like, that's why people kill themselves. Like it's scary, like the world we live in and how bad and like evil and nasty people could be. So going into this, I knew it was going to be bittersweet, but I didn't realize, obviously, then the good part is all my fans that I have and all the love and people that support my business and that just love me for who I am and follow me on social media and love my content. So it's good and bad, like anything else in life. But
what were some of the negative? What was going on? Like what were some of the negative things, and some of like the threat? You got a death threat? Someone wanted
yeah, so people would be crazy. Like I guess like people watching like really get into like the emotions that like we were feeling in that moment on that episode. So like then they just take it to Instagram and like they start DMing you crazy stuff. And it's like I look at these people and they're like grown women, grown men with kids in their profile. I'm like, go take care of your kid. Leave me alone.
Right, they're getting mad at you because something that's going on that's not even real. In the
Right.
first
Like it's
right.
like this happens in real life to you. Like the difference is that my life's on TV now.
So give me you were talking about how certain people on social media portray their lives in a very specific, grandiose way that's not real. Is that from your own experience of seeing people on the show, how they portray their lives to their Instagram or their social media, or just how you see it now that you're on the show and now you're outside looking from the outside back in again? I mean, because I think it's really important, because I think a lot of women your age understand potentially what's going on social media, but women, teenagers and 13, 14-year-old girls can be very impressionable and not understand how fake it is, or how people are perceived through their social media, or happen to be on a reality TV show, or just people that have a lot of followers on Instagram. So why don't you elaborate a little bit what you were saying about that, how you feel about that, especially now that you have some more experience?
So I'm not saying this because of anybody from my cast, because honestly, like we all like what we post on social media is actually our life. So it's real,
Right.
it's not, but just from being on social media for so long and just in general with any micro influencer, which is like micro influencer is somebody that has like maybe like 10K on Instagram, and then like the major influencers like 100K and up type thing. And then once you hit 1 million, you're like celebrity tier. So, but these people, what I tend to see, and now like there's a lot of videos exposing these people, like they have these places in LA where like you can go and literally they have studios set up, and one's a private jet. It's like seeing like a whole thing, and you can literally go sit in the chair and it looks like you're on a private jet flying. So like a lot of these influencers do that. And then like there's this way of where you could take a toilet seat cover and put it up to the TV and put a video of like a plane flying in the sky on YouTube and take a photo on the specific angle you get it. It looks like you're flying on a plane going away. So it's so sick. And I've actually been reading books about like social media and like influencing, because I'm obviously trying to grow my social media even more and bigger. And I need to stay up to date with all the trends and everything going on. But even like these models, like I'm not knocking anybody, but like everybody thinks that you need to look like this, skin and bones, and have no meat. And then like everybody's like anxiety and who's bulimic and who's this and who's that, because they all think that they're not good enough or their body doesn't look good enough because they see this girl on Instagram who's in a bikini and has these curves and this plump butt, and then now everybody's running out going to get a BBL. So, you know, and it's scary, like the world we live in, like everything that you see on social media is like usually 99.9% BS.
What's a BBL?
BBL is a Brazilian butt lift. So basically what they do is I think they go through your belly button or somewhere around that on your stomach, and they suck out like the fat with this instrument, and then they inject it into your butt to make it bigger.
Really?
A lot of people go to Colombia or Miami for that.
Do they keep in contact with you, or do you have representation that keeps in contact with them?
With who? MTV? Or
yeah. How does that work?
So if they need me, like they have my email, they have my phone number, so like they'll have like a producer reach out if they need it, but I haven't been in contact with them for a little.
Right. So for like I'm sure a lot of young women are going to be or could be watching this, and what advice do you have for them? I mean, is this something that you think is a good experience or not? I mean, everybody seems, especially young people, they want to be well known. They want to be part of a cool clique. Maybe they want to be famous. You know, that's part of being a teenager. You know, back in the 50s, you know, you were on a motorcycle and you wore a leather jacket and you were a greaser, and girls wore certain shoes. And then in the 60s, now in this day and age, it's, you know, social media, it's being an influencer, it's having a lot of followers, it's maybe being on a reality TV show. Now that you've gone through it, I mean, what would you say to a young woman who hasn't had the experiences that you have? I mean, has this helped you? Has it made you feel better? Do you feel shitty about it that you did it? I mean, how do you feel about it?
No, I do not feel shitty at all. I'm so happy I did it, and I'm so blessed for all the opportunities I've gotten. And what I would say to anybody out there, guy or girl, no matter what age you are, it's never too late to do something or try something. And if you want to do it, do it. Don't get discouraged. You might be told no, you might get knocked down, but you keep going and you keep trying, because what you put out, I like to say what you put out is what you get back. You put it out into the universe and you'll get it back. And I say shoot for the stars always. That's what I do.
That's good advice. Do you think that the reality TV show, or specifically the type of show that you were on, how do you think that that's affecting? Is it affecting the young women in a bad way or a good? I mean, be honest.
I personally think that these dating shows are kind of portraying, in a sense, like, I don't know. It's like, it's 50-50 with me. Like, I get it. Like, cause they have the Bachelor and the Bachelorette. So it's not only guys that are just looking to find girls, you know, they do it both ways, and it is fun. It's entertaining to watch. But at the same time, it's like, in a sense, it's like it makes you think like, oh, like, why isn't she good enough? And then the contestant, oh, why aren't I good enough? What's wrong with me type of thing. So it also can affect and screw with you with your your mental health, I guess you could
Your
say.
mental state. Yep. So you would not, poo-poo on it for someone that might be interested, a young girl that was
Yeah,
interested.
no. I would just tell her to be true to who she is. And
Right.
if they don't like you, screw them. It's their loss. And just be true to who she is. Never change. And that's like another thing that comes with this lifestyle, I guess you could say. A lot of people change. It gets to their head and they lose track of who they are. And I told myself from the beginning, and like even my friends, like when they found out, they were like, Marissa, like, please don't change. Like, we love you for who you are. And I was like, I'm never changing. I will always be me. And to be where I'm at 24 years old, a lot of 24-year-olds can't say that. And like, I'm just so humble and blessed that I've had the opportunities and exposure and people and connections that I have. Because a lot can't say that. And like, I would never change who I am ever.
That's great. But you did get a couple of perks. I mean, the first time I met you, I saw you walk right from the front of the line right into the club. There was no waiting.
You did. There are some perks though that are fun.
They were waiting for you inside the club when I got there. That's actually I met you outside of a club of a friend of mine, and he introduced me to that. I said, you know what, I have this podcast. I want to find out what it's like for a young woman to be on a reality TV show. I want to talk to you, and you agreed, and I think it's cool, and I'm glad that you showed up tonight. What else can you share? I mean, the people on the show, are you still friends with them? Do you interact? Do you connect with them? Do you guys collaborate in influencing together or enhancing your social media?
So we haven't seen each other in a little bit. So like some of us live in New York, some of us live in Jersey, some of us live in LA, then there's Vegas. So we're kind of all over Staten Island. We have gotten together. We are in group chats together. We talk as much as we can because life is crazy and there's always something new each day. So we do talk and catch up. I'm actually trying to get together with Maria. I don't know if you know who's who on the show, but her birthday is coming up. So I'll probably be with her. As far as like content and Instagram and stuff like that, we have to be together to do that, and we're never together, so no. But we'll here and there like jump on each other's lives and talk, so like the fans can interact in the comments and everything and talk to us.
But tell us a little bit about your family, because you come from a good family, right?
Thank you. You know, I come from an amazing family, very, very close, very Italian. I have a brother, Salvatore, who's 19, my mom, Darlene, and my dad, Sal. I'm from Long Island, Massapequa, born and raised.
I'm from Long Island too, right?
You are?
Yeah.
What part?
You know, the Melville, Dix Hills area.
Yes. Okay.
Middle of the island. So we're like 5 minutes apart from each other, but many years apart in the school, the school years.
Yes.
Anyway, so you're saying about your family. Go ahead, continue.
Yeah, no. So we're like meet the Fockers, like the circle of trust. Nobody can come in and break it. So we're a very close, tight family. Me and my brother, he's my best friend. Very close. My mom's my best friend, and I am the woman who I am today because of my mom. She raised me to be a strong, independent woman.
Well, you are. You got a good personality too. Tell me about you and your brother. Are you guys tight? What did he think about you being on the show? Was he like protective? Did he walk around with a baseball bat with you?
No, that's actually my mom who will do that. She'll come out with the bat. Me and him were very, very close. When I first was leaving for the show, he was like, holy shit, like he couldn't believe it. And then obviously once it was on TV, that's like when it really hit all of us, because now you're actually watching and it's happening. So everybody was like bugging out. Every Thursday night, that's when the show would be on. My mom, like we had friends, family, everybody come over, eat, drink, hang out, watch the show upstairs, downstairs. I have parties to watch the show. Like my house is like Penn Station. Friends are always in and out. There's always parties happening. But everybody was like, holy shit balls when they found out, even my brother. And like then his friends at school. Holy shit balls.
Holy shit balls. Is that a new generational? Did we say that in high school? I don't want to go to that class. Holy shit balls. Okay.
You never heard of Holy Shit Balls?
I've heard of holy shit, but not holy
Holy
shit
Shit
balls.
Balls.
Well, if I learned anything on this interview, I learned about holy shit balls. So you know what I wanted to ask you about? So you have how many you have, about 180,000 followers?
No,
on
I
Instagram?
have 164,000.
All right, 164,000. So are they all watching, you think, when you post something, or is it how many can you influence in a time? What happens when you post something? What's the reaction time and how many?
Okay, so well, I could tell you right now.
Because it's a pretty good amount.
So usually Instagram stories, it's about anywhere from 10,000 and up. If I'm with cast members and stuff like that, it can literally hit like 50 to 60 to 70,000 views at a time on my stories. Instagram Reels which is like a new thing that really, really helps with growing like your Instagram account now, and very, very popular. It's more beneficial posting Reels now on Instagram than it is actually posting a photo because of the engagement. And the more shares you get when people like send videos in the DMs, the more the longer Instagram will keep your Reels up on the For You page and everything. But with my Reels, I hit crazy numbers. I hit like this. I got 132,000 on it. It's always up and down. It depends on what it is. If it's like a brand collab that I do, people definitely engage a lot in it, but it won't do as good as maybe another post. And then like if I post a bikini, it's like everybody's liking it and commenting. And then if I'm in like this, it's like, all right, you'll get maybe 5, 6, 7.
So product is interesting. Bikini, sort of pseudo sex stuff gets a lot of hits.
Sex sells. So yes.
All right. Well, for the girls that are watching, this is a no-no. This is not why you want to be on the show, to be in your bikini. You want to use your intelligence and do some. I like the business collab thing. So you're trying to sell a product sometimes, and you're collaborating to sell a product sometimes.
Yeah. So I have a manager, Antonio. He lives out in Boca Raton. He is amazing. He manages all my stuff for me. So say like you were Nike or a brand and you wanted to have me work with your product or whatever it is, you would reach out to me, and then me and him would discuss and reach out to the brand, and then he would negotiate everything and set everything up for me. And he does everything. Like he's my right-hand man. Like he does everything for me. He sends it to me, and then he'll be like, okay, this is the time and this is what you're doing. And I'm like, okay, cool, I'll be there, or I'm doing it. So
do you think you're going to do more of this type of reality TV work, or it's going to be a platform you're going to leap off of it, is what you think? What are your thoughts? Because, being your age, you have a lot of hopes, aspirations. The future it's a very, very long path until you get a little bit older, and then it starts narrowing down a little bit. And you're like, oh my God, maybe I don't have as much time. But, in your mind right now, you have a lot of time. What do you think you're going to do? You're going to, with this little leapfrog you got going on here, what are you going to try and do to parlay?
So this is kind of like where I'm at right now and what I've been thinking. So as of right now, I also have my own business called Glamour Luxury Lashes. It's an online boutique where I sell lashes and lash accessories. So I've had that for 3 years now, and everybody shops on it. I post on Instagram to promote it, TikTok. But I also am certified lash technician. I have my cosmetology license. This was all before the show. This is what I did in high school. So right now I work full time at a salon doing my clients with lashes, and a bunch of other beauty services. But I also eventually want to open my own salon. And obviously, if I did get another call for another show, I wouldn't be opposed to it, depending on what it is. If it was like another party show, totally. If it's a dating show, no, because I'm in a happy relationship right now. And they actually did contact me like 2 months ago for another dating show, but
you wouldn't because you have a boyfriend. Well, I mean, I guess the people really don't. I guess people do know because you have your Instagram account.
Yeah, and he's all over social media. And right when I put him out there, because I waited a little bit, because that's another thing that comes with this lifestyle. If you decide to have a significant other, now their life is also in the limelight. So I kind of had to ease him into it because when we first met, he never watched the show and he was kind of like, I don't even care. And I was like, okay, well, I need to just warn you as to what is going to happen because now you're going to be not stalked but followed, and you're going to have fans and everything else. So it's something.
So how is it? Has it changed his life? Has it
I
changed his?
I wouldn't say it changed his life. I'm not going. I told him I don't want us out there 24/7. There's a lot of these couples who put their relationship out there 24/7 and all over social media. And like when they fight, when they break up, because they just post it. And I said, that's not me. Because I feel like once you put yourself out there too much and your relationship, that's when it starts to go downhill. And it's a lot. It's like a mess. It's what's around you, what's going on, like what people have to say. It just causes a mess. So I put him out there enough for people to know that we're dating, and so does he, but we don't need to be in everybody's face 24/7.
All right, cool. Well, you have a very mature, trusting relationship.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So what else in the reality show world? Is there anything you're watching out there that interests you that would not be a dating show that you might want to jump in on?
So I really don't watch like actual TV unless it's like Netflix. Like then I'll jump into Netflix and start like a season of something. But Netflix is now doing kind of reality TV. They're like branching out now. So they have, what's that show called? Well, Too Hot to Handle, but I would have to be single for that. So that's a cool show. And if I was single, I would try to be on that. And they also have like they have a bunch of other shows coming out. They're starting to get into it now, but as of right now, if I was single, I would be on Too Hot to Handle.
All right, Too Hot to Handle. That's awesome. So you know what? It was great talking to you tonight, and I learned a lot. And you seem really well grounded, and it seems like the reality TV show was a really nice experience for you. And it seemed like it was positive. It wasn't like this negative, trippy thing that you're on. And you probably got used to watching yourself on TV after you had a couple of drinks.
Oh, yes, definitely. But thank you so much for having me. It was so nice chatting.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you being here and I appreciate you doing the interview. And I really enjoyed it and I hope we can chat offline sometime. I think we learned a little bit more about that world, and especially not so much the guys, but the young girls are going to watch. They can get a little bit more insight into what it's like to be a part of that. And it's not as mysterious. And like you said, it's not as big and as grandiose as it's led to be, which is not a bad thing for you because you can still leapfrog and do all these social media things, but that life is not necessarily what exists. And I think, that for me, that's a major takeaway in the discussion today. And that the young girls that are listening say, hey, this is a cool thing to do, but this shouldn't be your only goal, or this is the major thing in life. That's the most important thing. You have a great life in front of you. Like you have your own awesome life in front of you outside and detached from that show. And that's what I really got. Like, you're the show is not you and you're not the show. You're Marissa. And that was just an experience.
Exactly.
And that separation is the most, that's what I got.
That's the perfect way to say it. That's exactly what it is.
Good. Well, I'm glad. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Have a good night.
The Jeff Gabriel Connection.